The anime begins with Kanan, the daughter of Beelzebub, the archdevil of gluttony, who had suddenly grown bored of the food in the demon world. Yearning for something new, she asks her father for permission to visit the human world, where she can feast on what she considers the most exquisite delicacy, human souls. Beelzebub agrees, but warns her to be careful of the angels she might encounter. Kanan, however, simply smiles and reassures him that everything will be fine. After arriving in the human world, Kanan enrolls at Huhan Academy. With her striking beauty and sharp intellect, she effortlessly wins over both students and teachers, eventually rising to become the head of the disciplinary committee. And now, as she looks over the academy, Kanan can't help but smile, because from now on, this place will be her ranch, and everyone in it will be her livestock. Then one day, while Kanan observing the students from the window, she suddenly got hungry. Even though she wanted to wait a little longer for their souls to become more mature, she thought it wouldn't hurt to eat just one. Just then, she noticed a student with a rare soul, brimming with vitality, which made her drool. Unable to wait any longer, she used her magic to lure him into a classroom alone with her. There, she revealed her demon form and told him that she was going to devour him and enjoy his taste raw. This confused the boy, and he looked at her, thinking she must be cosplaying as a demon, and completely misunderstood her, assuming she meant a different kind of devour. So, he quickly knelt down and thanked her, shocking Kanan, saying it would be his honor, as it had always been his dream to be devoured by a devilish girl like her. With that, he then started to undress in front of her, making Kanan blush as she realized he had misunderstood her. Still, she thought this was the perfect chance, since she could simply steal his soul while going along with it. But there was one problem. She was a complete virgin. Wanting to get out of the situation, she nervously asked him if this wasn't something that should only be done by two people who loved each other. But the boy reassured her not to worry, saying he had already fallen in love with her the moment he saw her, and that he believed she had called him here because she felt the same way. Hearing the word love made Kanan freeze for a moment, as she had never fallen in love with anyone before, let alone even held hands, despite being several thousand years old. And now, as she looked at the boy's body more carefully, she realized he might just be her type. Looking at her flustered face, the guy then apologized, thinking it must have been too much. So, he suggested that they start by dating first, which Kanan nervously agreed to, only to regret it later, as she asked herself what kind of crazy contract she had just made. By the way, the guy's name is Yuji, who is also a complete virgin. Later, he told his friend Masurao about it, who found it hard to believe that someone like him could find a girlfriend. Curious, she asked him how far they had gone, and whether they had called each other by their first names yet. This surprised Yuji, making him realize they hadn't done that. So, he decided to confront Kanan afterward, asking her to call him by his first name from now on, since they were now dating. This confused Kanan, as she didn't understand why he was so worked up over something as simple as a name, though she found it adorable. However, just as she was about to call his first name, she suddenly became embarrassed and couldn't get a single word out. Still not wanting Yuji to notice, she quickly made an excuse. If he wanted her to call him that so badly, then he had to call her by her first name first. Yuji agreed and said it without hesitation, making her heart race like crazy. She wondered how he could say it so casually. Seeing her reaction, Yuji then got closer to her, while continuing to call her by her first name, and demanded that she call his name back, which only made her even more flustered. Unable to take it any longer, Kanan slapped him hard and quickly ran away. But just as she was about to leave the room, she gathered her courage and managed to call him by his first name, making him really happy. Later, Kanan begins patrolling around the school, cracking down on student relationships. After all, she wants their souls to remain pure and delicious. Just then, Yuji sneaks up behind her and asks why she always runs away from him, even though they are now lovers. This leaves Kanan speechless, unsure of how to respond. Noticing this, Yuji steps closer and tells her that he actually came to ask where they should go to make their first time truly unforgettable. The question catches Kanan completely off guard. She thinks about how perverted he must be to bring that up so soon. Shouldn't that kind of thing only happen after marriage? Still, she doesn't want him to see her flustered, so she pretends to stay calm and asks what location he has in mind. Yuji thinks for a moment and suggests the park. Shocked, Kanan immediately rejects the idea, calling him a pervert and saying it would be too embarrassing if anyone saw them. Understanding her reaction, Yuji apologizes and suggests a hot spring trip instead, which Kanan rejects him again, calling him a dummy and saying their first time should be somewhere private, like a bedroom or something. Only then does she realize that Yuji was actually talking about where their first date should be. Embarrassed by the misunderstanding, Kanan quickly runs away. After the school ends, Yuji comes to meet Kanan again and asks her to walk home with him. Kanan agrees, thinking this time she will finally put him in his place. However, little does she know, it is harder than she expected. Just walking side by side with him makes her heart race non-stop. Seeing this, Yuji becomes confused and doesn't know what is going on, so he offers his hand, suggesting they should stay even closer. This makes Kanan blush even more because, according to what she knows, holding hands might somehow lead to pregnancy. Still, she doesn't want to refuse, afraid he might think she's inexperienced. So, she comes up with another idea. She decides to tie his hand and hold the leash, thinking it's basically the same as holding hand. Yuji agrees and even enjoys it. He misunderstands her, believing she wants to keep him by her side so badly that she'd go this far to control him. That only annoys Kanan more, since that wasn't her intention at all. Embarrassed, she suddenly runs off, forgetting that she's still holding the leash, and ends up dragging Yuji along with her. He then gets up and notices that they are now at the park, so he tells her there's something he's always wanted to do with her. This immediately reminds Kanan of their earlier conversation at school, causing her to misunderstand again. She worries that they're really about to do that in the park. However, to her slight disappointment, Yuji simply takes her to buy croquettes. It turns out he had always wanted to eat street snacks like this with his girlfriend. Looking at the snack, Kanan asks if there's any sauce, which makes Yuji sigh in frustration. He tells her to just eat it as it is, reassuring her that the croquettes from this shop are top tier. He explains that he has tried many places, but none are as delicious as this one. Hearing this, Kanan can't help but laugh, surprised to see this side of him, and finding it surprisingly cute. Trusting his words, she takes a bite, and is shocked at how good it actually tastes. As she eats, she notices Yuji staring at her. Curious, she asks what he's looking at. Yuji then softly replies in a casual voice that he can't help it as she just looks so cute while eating, making her blush once again. If you've come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks.